Hey there guys, it is Thursday, June 23rd, and it is time for my sketchbook review. Okay, quick rundown of the week. Monday came and went. I didn't hear anything about my job, and then I came to find out that they had actually pushed me back until July 5th, saying that my paperwork was not in yet. Very untrue because I happened to know it was in, but I wasn't going to argue with them about it. And I was set to just go ahead and ride out the next 2 weeks. I got like my finances as in order as I could, and just actually about 5 hours ago or so they gave me a call asking if there was any way I could make it for an impromptu sort of last minute throw together for a class. The beginning orientation being June 30th. And I told them, of course, yes, I totally would, totally free, would love to start early. So it's only a few days early, but it's better than waiting until the 5th. I've got all my paperwork done. I'm ready to go. I have my titers pulled for varicella, so they're going to see if I'm good there. But other than that, I'm ready to go. So I am supposed to be starting June 30th now instead of last Tuesday or Monday or whatever. As a result, though, because I had plans of going up north to see family that weekend, but now I'm going to kind of want to stick around the house because I'm going to be starting a new job and everything. I don't know if they're going to have me working over the weekend, and we're supposed to be having a get-together with my family that weekend because we're welcoming a new member of the family into our family. And yeah, so plans have changed, and the thinking is we're going up north this weekend instead of next weekend. So I decided to go ahead and get this done so I could get it uploaded and either have it up tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. I think my dad's coming over tomorrow to help me work on my car, and I have laundry to do, and we'll see about leaving tomorrow night, but it's still kind of up in the air. But anyway, so I am starting my job actually a little bit earlier than I was planning on, but at the same time it's good that it's starting earlier because it's starting in the middle of a pay week, which makes it possible for me to have like quite a bit larger of a paycheck, which I'm really going to need here pretty soon. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. So it's going. It's just a little bit of a delay. It's about a little over a week delay, but you know, it is what it is. It's not that much of a difference between the 30th and the 5th. It's like literally 1 weekend and 1 day, but beggars can't be choosers, and I would rather get started now than later. Anyway, so that's been it. I've actually been working quite a bit on colored works this week because I kind of found something I liked and I wanted to keep going with it. But we're gonna start, actually, I started a new small sketchbook here, and I did some concept work, and we're gonna go over that first. So I need to come up with a sticker design for this sketchbook. I'm kind of plotting it out right now, but then I'll get my stuff together and do a sticker. But first page here is just a quick deer character. This is primarily going to be an ink sketchbook, I think. I've been talking with some friends, and we've been designing Zootopia original characters, and I've got a bunny and a deer so far, so I'm working on a deer character, and you see like here it's not a very good looking character. I kind of bring it together a little bit here. I was just kind of plotting out her overall design here. Giving them the long legs, super ridiculous long legs, and her body should be a lot thinner and a lot longer, but it's a different kind of anatomy, so I've been kind of feeling about it, but whatever. I've got this whole thing planned out to where she's just kind of like this really preppy, sort of happy-go-lucky, enthusiastic character, and yeah. So I'm excited to start working with her, but you know, it is what it is. We don't talk about it too much. This is a quick ink drawing of Piper, Little Mouse Piper without her bandana. She's sleeping in a few gardenias, although they kind of look more like roses now. But what I'm I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. What I'm starting to try to do is get a little bit more detailed with backgrounds and start using stippling, crosshatch, and stuff like that to sort of bring out some sort of scenery as opposed to my character just floating in space and stuff like that. She turned out very cute. Look at her face. And I've been using, do I have one in here? I thought I did. I went and I bought some microns. This one here. It is not. Some micron felt tip 1-point markers or whatever. Because I find that micron does not bleed through my paper as much as my brush pen does. My brush pen's ink is just way too heavy, so I had to go ahead and do that. I don't like the feel. I don't get as organic of a line from it, and that kind of makes me sad, but it is what it is. I'd rather be able to actually ink in my sketchbooks than get finicky over what kind of line it looks like. If I want to do final work with those organic lines, I can transfer the images onto nicer paper. This was just a quick picture. It was a concept I had spoken with Kay about. Ms. Piper is very new to the Little Mouse community she comes into, but she's really, really grateful to Jean for helping her out. But Jean's kind of like, sort of like a rock star because he takes care of all the girls and, well, the guys too, but he protects them because he's a sentry. So getting to talk to him when he comes in from his patrols is almost impossible because he kind of gets swarmed by people. So what I've got it planned out is that she sort of sneaks out and takes some little things like wild strawberries and whatnot. And he gets very frustrated but very flattered at the same time because the way it's set up is there's like a mill, and then they patrol the perimeter, but in between the mill and the perimeter anything can happen. Like they can run into somebody who snuck through. There's people who come in to steal, because the mice are basically property of the rats, and the rats sort of run them like slave trade or whatever. But Brambleberry is actually a very good employer. He actually pays his workers. Some of them don't, but he employs and takes care of his workers, and that's how come Jean is so eager to grab Piper up and get her over there so she can be taken care of, as opposed to used for whatever purposes and not paid. But what was I going? Anyway, the idea is that he sort of takes her under his wing. Jean does, to make sure she's okay, but then she starts sneaking out and putting herself in danger because people or other mice, male mice in particular, who are hired, sneak onto the property sometimes and kidnap the girls to take them for either other purposes or for other mills or other businesses. Like there's going to be like a slaughterhouse business where they have to get in there and get scraps and things like that, and it's a really dangerous job because there's all sorts of poisons and things like that. There's a wheat mill business, but I haven't really figured that one out yet. There's going to be, he's in the cotton business. I'm just going to kind of, there's a whiskey business or like a bar business too, but basically the rats use the mice to go do the dangerous things, and then the mice or the rats reap the benefits and the rewards and the pay. But depending on who is running the business is how the mice are paid, and Brambleberry actually takes care of his people, so there's that. But yeah, so that was an idea, and I'm also practicing some backgrounds here, some leafing, some grasses, some indications of foliage and stuff like that in the back. But that's it for this guy. I was working on another one, but we'll talk about that one next week. In the concept notebook, I'm kind of stuck in between my storybook style and my humanoid style for this story, so I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with it. So I continued to work on this, and I went ahead and I nailed down Jean's anthro design here. Gave him some colors and added some details and drew a full body picture of him. So he's almost ready to go. And that's all I really did in this sketchbook. But again, I mean, even the microns are kind of showing through on this. This paper just is not good for inks, and I knew it wasn't, but I got it anyway. I still like it. I still like this sketchbook. Okay, so we'll save this for last. I also did some work in here, very little actually. This ended up being a watercolor concept that I ended up finishing up. This was just something to make a friend smile. I drew child Piper and child Lisraine playing together, because I have this, there's like this headcanon going right now where they're both orphans together and they make friends. So It's actually stinking cute and I love it. And then this is the development of my bunny character for Zootopia. I just kind of threw together this sort of punk looking sporty bunny with a floppy ear. I think she's just born like that. She just has a floppy ear, and her name is Allison, and it's Lissy for short. And she works in her friend's whole food organic candy store or whatever, and she just is super awesome. And she's a party girl, and she loves her glitter tigers. Like, she has like this big fetish for big cats, because that's how she be. But yeah, she was fun to develop. I still have to nail down her personality a little bit more, because she's not like irresponsible, but she kind of is. But yes, so onwards to this. This is going to be a quick sketchbook review, because again, most of my time was spent on this stuff in my watercolor. I went and I got 2 of these watercolor things over the weekend too. I was supposed to go with my sister to get a watercolor journal, like a legit one, and she bailed on me. So I went by myself, and I just decided to get this because Strathmore had one where there was like 48 sheets, but like it was almost $30, and I was like, okay, well, I can get 2 15 sheets, which is 30, and I could technically use front and back. You could use front and back in the other ones, but only one side has the tooth on it. I'll show you. Like, this side has a texture to it. It's 300 grain, so 140 GS, or yeah, 140 pound. So only one side has the grain on it. If you can see it, you can kind of see it right there, and then the other side's a little bit more flat. It has a little bit of the grain, but one side is clearly meant for the watercolors. And I figured, and it was the same in the one with the 48 pages, and I was like, well, it's not like you're going to get 80 or 8 and 8 16. You're not going to get 96 out of that. So I figured, what the hey, I just got this stuff, and I was like, it's only like $6.99 for one of these. So I grabbed this up instead. And I got 2 of them for half the price of $1.48, so I got 30 for the price of like whatever. And I also had a coupon, so I got one of these half off. Anyway, but I really like the paper. It really does well with the watercolors. This was the first image I did. I showed this picture as a sketch last week, and it's just of Mouse Piper holding onto a leaf. And I outlined it in Prismacolor, the dark umber color pencil, and I just keep it sharpened basically. So I decided to outline it in that just to kind of give it a softer, more like sketchier look to it, which is, you guys know, excuse me, I do love my sketchy looks. I initially just doodled this on the paper with a color erase, and I didn't erase it very well, so like the areas where it could have stood to be a little bit lighter, like here in the eye, like in the shine of the eyes and stuff like that, there's still, you can see the color erase through it, which normally I wouldn't mind, but I kind of wanted these to be a little bit cleaner. So in this case, it was a learning process. I mean, the leaf pattern altogether, this turned out so well. I'm so happy with the details. I'm so happy with just everything about this leaf. I didn't think I could draw leaves. I've never done it before, to be honest, and look, it is a beautiful thing. Drawing leaves is actually a very common art exercise that I just never did. I wish I had, because clearly I'm good at it. And then her fur turned out lovely. It was kind of a struggle with the watercolor because I'm trying not to go so gold with her, but it ended up gold anyway, whatever. But yes, it turned out very lovely. I'm very happy with this piece. This piece is this sketch right here, and I did it a little bit differently. Let me see if I've got my stuff right here to explain it. Yes, I do. Okay, so I had my concept here in my head already. I sketched it out, and I was like, I know what I want this to be. I knew I wanted to have an artistic border, and I knew I wanted that border to be in gold. So what I did was I took 2 pieces of paper that were roughly the size. I measured out my border. I knew that I wanted them to be in about an inch in width. So it's 6 by 9. So if it's 6 by 9 and you take away 2 inches, 1 inch for each end of the border, then you only have 4 inches to work with. So I cut 2 4-inch pieces of paper, and I drew my concept within those 4 inches, as you can see here. Okay, so I ran out of room on my camera there. Anyways, so what I did was I drew out my concept. I have my sketch here, so I went ahead and drew it out here. Sort of determined how I wanted everything to line up, and then I marked it on my page on my little drawing edges here, like where the cutoff is going to be. And then what I did is I took a graphite stick and I just sort of scribbled on the back to get the graphite. And then I took a ballpoint pen and I went over the original drawing, and that transfers over. I can show you guys real quick. It transfers over very, very nicely, actually. Do I have a ballpoint pen? We'll just use a pencil. So let's see, let's just do this real quick. Okay, and then what you can see is there's the outline of his nose, and it's very faint, which is very nice for watercolors, because then the lines don't show through when you finish watercoloring. So I used that to transfer the image itself over to this, and then I just went from there with watercolor. I knew right away that I wanted to have a contrast between like this, and I mentioned it, I live streamed this. I mentioned it in live stream, is that I wanted like this kind of cold marble background and then nice warm borders, and then warms to offset with the warm tones of the mice, and then colds to offset as well. So what I ended up doing was, and I worked really hard because I really wanted this to look marbly, and I'm so happy with it. It looks very stony and marbly, and I'm just so happy with it. This was just one quick wash, and then I let it dry, and then I marked it off. I taped here and here, and then I just washed them, and then I waited for them to dry quite a bit, and then I removed the tape, and then I did this wash here, and then I worked on the inside, and then once I had all of this done and completed before the actual penciling, I went in with, where is it? It was right here. My Signo Uniball Gold, and I just went over the outline of this sort of Celtic knot design or whatever. It's like an endless, seamless border is kind of what they're called, and I just went in and I inked it all the way across. And then I added in this line. Well, actually I added in this line first because you could tell because I inked over it over here. And then I went ahead and I did all of my penciling in. Gene didn't turn out so well. There's just something, I don't know, something wasn't right. He's tri-toned, and that's kind of difficult for me to figure out right now. Adam turned out really good. I think it's because I sort of just blocked him off in 2 ways. Now really what I should do with Gene is just block him off as 2 colors and then add in that extra color with the pencil like I did here. It looks a lot nicer. But yeah, so this ended up being Adam and Gene face off. They're actually very much enemies in my story. And in roleplay, various roleplays, they're enemies, so it works out really, really well. And I'm very, very, very happy with this. But what I need to do is get some matte spray so that way the colored pencil doesn't transfer onto the page before it. What I've kind of been doing is covering them with a tissue paper, or not tissue paper, but tracing paper to keep them from sort of rubbing off. Alright, so that's what I've been working on. This right here took me a good 3.5 to 4 hours. I was live streaming the entire time. I would have recorded it on my camera, but again, it took 3.5 hours. My camera would not have been happy. This guy right here took me another 3.5 hours or so. I'm just very slow at watercolors because I do everything in layers, and it's just like layer of watercolor, because that's the way I've been taught to do it. I'm not very good at putting straight color down and having it look right. I always have to go through and adjust. So there's that. But overall, I'm very happy with how my watercolor has been progressing. The better paper is helping me, I think. It's not tearing the paper as much as like the other stuff does. I still use the other stuff for practice though. So if there's like a technique I'm not sure about, I still pull that stuff out. But it's turning out really, really good. But yes, and a lot of people have pointed out, I do have huge inspiration from David Peterson. I've learned from him. He's come and lectured at my class before. I love his work. I'm excited for Wind in the Willows. That's coming out very soon. I'm trying to order all of Mouse Guard. I have the fall version, or the fall book, the fall 1152 book. So, and it's signed and it has a little doodle from him in it. and everything. But yeah, he's been a huge inspiration, and like I said before, Andy Marin over there on Instagram has really been a huge inspiration to me to kind of pursue a different style, just something a little bit more storybook and a little bit more cutesy. But yes, so that's been it this week. It's been kind of a busy week. I was very disheartened about my job, to be honest, and there was a couple days there where I didn't pick up a pencil or do anything as a result, but I really should have. I should have made myself do it, but at the same time, it's like I was just tired. I've been, you know, running around Hell's Half Acre trying to get everything ready, and then they're like, no, you're still not ready. I'm like, okay, all right. But good news is I'm hearing from some of the girls that I sold my books to that they passed their first nursing course. So I'm so excited for them, like, yay, future nurses. And so there's been a lot of ups this week, and it's turning around now that they've called me in for that extra day of orientation. So I'm excited for that. And that'll be next Thursday. So hopefully I will have time either Thursday night, because it's only a couple days on, or a couple hours on Thursday. Hopefully I'll be able to do my sketchbook review next Thursday, so that way if I have to be in class or whatever doing modules all day Friday, I'll have that opportunity to just kind of focus on that and not have to worry about a sketchbook review or anything. But that's it for me this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm almost up to 6,000 viewers or subscribers. So I am taking questions for my Q&A. I have a little poll on my Instagram where you can go and vote on what you guys would like to see me draw for my 6K. Right now, Pips Ren is kicking butt. Everybody seems to like the idea of me drawing Piper and Lysraine. I am totally cool with that. I love that couple. But there's other options on there. You guys can head over to my Instagram and you can sort of vote on that over there. It's also on my Tumblr if you don't have an Instagram. I've gotten a lot of excellent questions and I'm very excited to answer them for you guys. So super excited. I'm probably going to start working on that next week, because at the rate I'm going, I probably will be about 2/3 of the way there by next Wednesday at the very latest or earliest. I'm not sure which, but yeah, either way, I'm on my way there and I'm very excited. So thank you guys for all the wonderful questions. I'm so excited to answer them for you guys, so yay for that, and yay for 6,000K or 6K. It's been awesome. So lots of up things this week, one major down thing, but it's being resolved, so I'm excited. But yeah, if you guys like what you saw, feel free to like, subscribe, comment below, and I will see you guys in next week's sketchbook review.